is the Colonel. He's writing to the famous poet W.H. Auden at the GPO film unit. This is Kathleen. She's keeping in touch with her sweetheart in the Navy. And this is Mary. Her letter is very special because it's going to a princess.
The Postal Museum in London tells the extraordinary story of the postal service. The history of the mail dates back to the reign of King Henry VIII, when Sir Brian Tuke was appointed Master of the Posts. In Victorian times, under Sir Rowland Hill, prepayment was first proposed, leading to the introduction of the world's first stamp. Celebrated author Anthony Trollope trialled roadside pillar boxes, and several past examples are on display. Early sorts of uniform are also shown, including the type worn by Moses Nobbs, a mail coach guard who served for 55 years. In 1784, the first mail coach took 16 hours for the journey from Bristol to London. The so-called hen and chicken cycle was trialled in Horsham, Sussex in 1882. It's just one of the many different forms of transport adopted by the post office over the years. Echoing Queen Victoria's head on the penny black, Arnold Machin was commissioned in 1966 to create a profile of the Queen. Other means of communication are covered in this compelling museum, as well as the art of graphic design. Even displays of post office children's toys are included. Starting in the 1930s, the work of filmmakers, led by John Grierson, helped to promote the post office to the nation.
But shall wake soon and long for letters, and none will hear the postman's knock without a quickening of the heart. For who can bear to feel himself forgotten?
Deep below ground at Royal Mail's Mount Pleasant sorting office, passengers can now experience a ride on mail rail, something that was never intended by its original designers. The operation of mail rail began in 1927 and continued until 2003. The system was developed purely to transfer mail swiftly between the mainline stations and sorting offices, thus avoiding London congestion. Stops are made at some of the largely unchanged station platforms, where projections and audio are used to provide a theatrical experience for passengers.
Welcome to Mail Rail. You're about to explore some of London's hidden underground postal railway. Construction of the railway began as far back as 1914, with the tunnels dug by hand.
When Mail Rail was running, this platform would be a hive of activity. You'd see people playing darts between the trains arriving, guys conversing back and forth and wheeling work up and down. It was a noisy and lively place to work.
This country
railway was bombed several times. This station suffered the most damage when it was hit in 1943. Amazingly, the railway was back up and running the very next day. That reflected how vital the railway had become.
All in all, the Postal Museum and Mail Rail provide a fascinating overview of the story of communication.
We hope you'll enjoy exploring the rest of the exhibition just as much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.